This is Renata. This is a video for the Life Manifestation School community, continuing the pages of the collaborative journal. So I had someone send a message or comment and ask if I could work on a trend for reconciliation, and specifically with a partner, but I'm going to do an overarching energy for reconciliation. So today is Monday, which is ruled by the moon. So we're going to circle Monday. Today is 6. I don't remember the date. 6/13 was the other day. 6/15. 6/15/26. This is memo number 3. I missed yesterday because I was spending time with family, so which is a good reason to not do videos. Planetary energy of Monday is the moon. The moon is good for processing emotions. So the trend energy card that we're going to work with is excellent teamwork. I script out whenever I do these videos, so I have something that I'm going to read on it. But the first thing I'm going to say about reconciliation is that if you truly want to reconcile with a specific person, in general, I recommend just running trends to bring in a new person that has the characteristics and everything of the person that you want the reconciliation with. But if you're set on reconciling with an ex-partner, it takes a lot of work on yourself, and so that's why you work with the moon to process emotions and to process everything. So maybe to try to bring back the version of you that you were whenever you guys fell in love and things like that. But in general, I don't even really recommend reconciling because, depending on the circumstances, your mileage may vary, obviously, and some relationships don't have so much baggage that that they can't be reconciled, and sometimes reconciliation is a thing. I feel like there's a natural course in a relationship, and sometimes the relationships do come back together naturally, and trying to push that too much doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're going to work with the trend energy card of excellent teamwork. So we're going to write that down. Excellent teamwork. Which is A4. And and so we're going to do an overarching trend energy of reconciling, and sometimes this means reconciling with parts of yourself. Sometimes it's like working out your own issues within yourself first, and so it can be getting different parts of yourself to work together well. And if you're reconciling with trying to work out things with a business partner or with family members, excellent teamwork is a good trend energy to work with. So that's what we're going to work with. So today we're exploring a powerful combination, moon energy and the excellent teamwork trend energy card. At first glance, reconciliation might seem like something that happens between two people. Maybe it's rebuilding a relationship, healing a friendship, reconnecting with a family member, or resolving a misunderstanding. Reconciliation begins somewhere much closer to home. It begins within. So we're going to write down reconciliation begins within. That's why Monday, ruled by the moon, is such a powerful day for this work. The moon governs our emotions, memories, instincts, habits, and inner world. It influences how we process experiences, how we feel about the people and situations in our lives. Many of the conflicts we experience externally have roots internally. Maybe we're holding on to old hurt. Maybe we're carrying disappointment. Maybe we're expecting someone else to provide closure that only we can create for ourselves. The moon invites us to slow down and explore these emotional landscapes. Instead of charging forward and trying to force a solution, the moon energy asks us to listen to our emotions, listen to our intuition, listen to what our experiences have been trying to teach us. This is where the excellent teamwork trend energy card becomes especially interesting. Most people hear excellent teamwork and immediately think of groups, projects, or cooperation with other people. But before we can work effectively with others, we often need to develop teamwork within ourselves. So this is developing teamwork within ourselves. Developing teamwork within ourselves. What if your thoughts and members were members of the same team? Your thoughts, what if your thoughts and emotions were members of the same team? What if your goals and habits need to work together? What if your conscious desires and your subconscious beliefs were trying to find alignment? Excellent teamwork begins with internal cooperation. Instead of fighting ourselves, we begin working with ourselves. Instead of resisting our emotions, we acknowledge them. Instead of suppressing our intuition, we listen to it. Instead of judging our past, we learn from it. This creates an inner environment where reconciliation becomes possible. So we're going to write down. So before we can work with others, we have to work with ourselves. This is important. So this is an important first step in any reconciliation. Excellent teamwork begins with internal cooperation. One of the biggest misconceptions about reconciliation is that it means returning to the way things used to be. That's not always true, and actually it shouldn't be true. Um, so, I mean, really, like, you don't want to return to exactly the way that things were. You want to have the new version of yourself and the new version of the other person come together. So sometimes reconciliation means restoring communication. Sometimes it means finding understanding. Sometimes it means releasing resentment. And sometimes it means making peace with a situation while continuing on separate paths. Reconciliation is not necessarily reunion. Reconciliation is harmony. The moon teaches us that healing often happens beneath the surface before we see external evidence of change. Think about tides. The moon influences enormous bodies of water without force or struggle. Its influence is steady, natural, and consistent. In many ways, emotional healing works the same way. Small shifts in perspective can create significant changes over time. A moment of understanding can dissolve years of frustration. A moment of compassion can soften long-held resentment. A moment of honesty can begin restoring trust. This is why Mondays can become a powerful weekly practice. Rather than rushing into the week carrying unresolved emotions from the previous one, we can take time to reflect. Ask yourself, where am I holding resistance? Who or what am I still struggling to forgive? Where could create greater understanding create greater peace? What part of myself needs compassion today? These questions aren't about assigning blame. They're about creating awareness. Awareness creates choice, and choice creates change. The excellent teamwork trend energy encourages us to move away from conflict and towards cooperation. Not cooperation based on sacrifice. Not cooperation based on losing ourselves. But cooperation based on understanding. The ability to recognize that different perspectives can exist at the same time. The ability to listen without immediately defending. The ability to seek connection rather than victory. In manifestation work, this becomes especially important. Many people unknowingly create internal conflict. Part of them wants a new opportunity. Another part fears change. Part of them wants abundance. Another part feels unworthy. Part of them wants a new relationship. Another part is still carrying wounds from previous experiences. When these parts are pulling in different directions, progress feels difficult. The excellent teamwork trend energy can be used to create greater internal alignment. Instead of forcing outcomes, we begin bringing our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and actions onto the same team. When that happens, manifestation often feels more natural. Less pushing, less struggle, more flow. More clarity, more consistency. The moon also reminds us that emotions are not obstacles. Information. Instead of pointers, there may be something that needs development. If anger appears, there may be a boundary that needs attention. If fear appears, there may be an opportunity for growth. Rather than treating emotions as enemies, we can treat them as messengers. This shift alone can transform how we approach our reconciliation. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this feeling, we begin asking, what is this feeling trying to teach me? That question often opens doors that force never making reconciliation your intention. Not necessarily reconciliation with a specific person, not necessarily reconciliation with a specific outcome in mind, but reconciliation with yourself, reconciliation with your journey, reconciliation with lessons learned, reconciliation with the person you used to be and the person you're becoming. Allow the excellent teamwork trend energy to support cooperation, understanding, and harmony. Allow the moon to eliminate what has been hidden beneath the surface, and trust that every step toward understanding is also a step toward peace. Thank you for spending the time with me. If you're working with today's journal page, take a few moments to reflect on where greater understanding could create greater harmony in your life. Sometimes the greatest manifestation isn't getting something new. Sometimes it's restoring peace to something that has been waiting to heal. So we're going to write in this journal where can greater understanding create greater harmony in my life. Understanding builds bridges where judgment builds walls. Understanding builds bridges where judgment builds walls. Then we're going to do the affirmation, I welcome understanding. The affirmation is, I welcome understanding, cooperation, and emotional harmony into every area of my life. Cooperation and emotional harmony into every area of my life. I know that this is like not the typical view of a reconciliation trend, but I feel like working with the excellent teamwork trend energy and working on yourself and working on your own issues. And so we just went through a new moon that was based in Gemini, which is good for communication and writing. So I would sit down and I would write out what you need to release and the parts of yourself that you feel like you need to reconcile. I would work on that. And that's what I would work on towards reconciliation. Whether it's you're having problems with family members, or you're having problems within a relationship or a business partner, or within your own, the struggle between your thoughts and your heart. That's a good set to work with excellent teamwork on. So that's what I have for today. Thank you for being here.